Well, I do get those complaints in from clients about other realtors that they have worked with. And, I'm not bashing or mean to talk down on anybody else, but the complaints I get from clients about other agents is they don't answer the phone. And if they do, and they call right back and they have another question, they can't get them on the phone. They don't like to text back when they really need to. Some clients, they want to email, and some people don't read their emails until they get to work the next day. And that just doesn't work in real estate. When that new house pops up, they need correspondence, that will guide them in the way that they want to be guided. So I think just listening to their needs, and letting them know that you can be trusted is really key.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host today, Skyler Byrd, and today I am joined by Eric Coleman. I'm very excited to talk with Eric. He's in a unique market down in the Mobile area. So Eric, thank you very much for hopping on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Eric, let me ask you first of all, what made you, want to get into real estate to begin with?
Well, I think I got caught in that HGTV boom, when everybody was looking at those episodes where you flip the house and you make this big old profit. And, my wife and I was just sitting down on the couch one day and, we watching HGTV, and she kind of looked over at me and said, "Are you going to make the call or what?" And so I said, "You know what? I think I will." And I just picked up the phone and Googled, the nearest real estate firms. I didn't know anything about real estate. And the first people that actually picked up were, the people at the brokerage I'm at now. And the rest was history. They told me where to go to get trained up and do my tests. And I've been here ever since.
All right. And that's been about 10 years, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Almost. All right.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. So tell me, being down, focusing on that Mobile area, I know you said you also work a little bit in Florida and one other state as well, Mississippi?
Yes, sir. Mississippi.
All right. So tell me, what have you seen from, the time you started working, right, about 10 years ago? What's changed in the market?
What's changed? Well, there's probably not a lot that hasn't changed. Of course, we had the COVID thing where it just turned everything upside down. But as far as everything else, I really think that the average buyer has become a lot more savvy in how to buy a house, and the sellers how to sell a house. But I just have seen that it's a lot of stuff that they think they know that they don't know. And so we can see where our clients really need us, even though they don't see it. But other than that, prices have skyrocketed, of course. And there's a lot of saturation going on too, wholesalers and, people trying to sell a house themselves or buy the house themselves. So it's just been a lot of expected market type changes. But other than that, everything's pretty much the same.
All right. Now, have you had like any kind of influx in in buyers coming in, just kind of migrating from different parts of the country? Have you seen anything like that?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So, I read an article the other day that said that, last year there were 1,000 more millionaires added per day. And so there have been a lot of investors that have come into the market that, want to do short-term rentals like Airbnbs. You've got a lot of sellers that are cashing out because, even on anybody that owned the property before COVID and sold it after COVID, probably 9 times out of 10, they made at least 50 to 100K just off selling, not really improving the property or anything like that. So I've seen a lot of sales going on, but I've also seen a lot of saturation, with people trying to play the role of a licensed realtor and really kind of making it harder for the average client to trust, who they're doing business with, because sometimes they just don't know.
Yeah. And I'm sure a big part of, why it's important to actually have somebody that is, a licensed realtor and, not just that, but has a lot of experience in your area. You need somebody you can trust if something goes, for lack of a better way to put it, kind of goes wrong in the deal. You need somebody that you can kind of lean on, correct?
Yeah, I've seen it time and time again. They'll try to do it themselves and then they call you at the last second. Hey, I'm getting ready to close, but the buyer wants you know, to go down $50,000 on the price, or, on the flip side, it's a lot of things that do go wrong. And then when they need that professional opinion right at the end, we kind of have to stop them and say, hey, look, we can't really advise you at this point because, the deal's locked in. And if we tell you the wrong thing, we could be liable. So, we try to help at the beginning, but we also have to protect ourselves and, make sure that, our name stays intact throughout any deal. Because the only thing we are really here for is to make sure that our people don't get taken advantage of.
There you go. No, I like the way you put that. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So, so let me ask, who would you say is your main clientele right now? Are they mainly investors at this point? Is it actual just, families looking for a place to live? Who are you seeing?
It's really a mixture. What I'm really getting a lot of now is the the couple team, like the husband and wife or the two brothers. Everybody wants to try out that investment thing where they, because just like I mentioned earlier, the HGTV thing is it's a real thing. You got Chip and Joanna. Everybody wants to try to see if they can actually pull it off. Can I buy a house for cheap, flip it, and make a decent profit? So I've seen more of that lately than anything else. But the first time home buyers, that's who I always have a soft spot for, because they just really just want to buy a house when they want to move out of mom and dad's house, and they don't want to get taken advantage of, and they want to know the cheapest way that they can do it without risking quality.
Okay. So is that pretty much is that who you like to focus on for clientele, the first time home buyers, people actually looking for a home?
You know what? I think that is true. I don't want to admit that, but I think that's where I find the most enjoyment, because they do give it to us. They say, "Listen, we don't know what we're doing, so help us, navigate through this process." Versus, somebody that's done it a few times, they'll try to take control because they've done it maybe 15, 20 years ago, but it's a different market than it was. So a lot of times we have to do a lot of convincing, and that sometimes goes the wrong way because they've done it before, and, who am I to tell them what they should or shouldn't do, right? So, the first time home buyers are, they've never done it before, and so they let us protect them the way that we want to protect them,
I like that.
which is fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
No, that's awesome. Everybody wants to feel, that sense of security when you're working with a professional. That's
Yes, sir.
100%
Yes,
true.
sir.
Like it. All right. So let's let's kind of stay on that for a second. So if I'm a first-time home buyer in your area, what kind of, pitfalls should I be looking out for if I'm going out there and, viewing properties for the first time?
So I think that the best way to explain it is, when let's say you're at a doctor's office or in the hospital or whatever, when somebody comes in the room, they tell you what's about to happen, right? I'm about to check your wristband. I'm going to do this kind of test, and I'm going to wrap this thing around your arm. They tell you what's about to happen. So, with first time home buyers, I like to bring them into the office and I like to figure out what their real goals are. I don't want to be talking, about this and they're really worried about that, So I try to get everybody on the same page and basically explain the process. When we do go look at houses, what's next? If I like the house, what do we do then? But I also like to remind them that, hey, I didn't build this house. So if you hate the house, just tell me you hate it. Let's keep moving. You're not going to hurt my feelings because you want to keep looking. I didn't get into this business to sell somebody the first house that they see, which is what they think. They think that we're, wanting to make it a quick turnaround deal. And that's really not what I do. I want to make sure my people are happy, because what they don't know is my real goal is to get that referral at the end. These word of mouth referrals is what keeps my business going. It keeps me from having to go out and find new people every day. When if I do a good job, they'll tell everybody and they'll call me, that's the real goal as a realtor.
As it should be. It makes your job a lot easier on the back end.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
100% understand that. All right. And so I guess if you're taking people, those first time home buyers out, how many homes do you think you typically show them before, they find that place that is, as right for them as it can be at the moment?
Good question. Good question. Usually, I'm gonna be honest with you, it could be anywhere between 15 to 25 homes, Now it sounds like a lot in some respects, but um, a lot of times we try to group them all, together, maybe 5 or 6 houses in one day and things like that. And, we have to work around schedules and things like that. But um, I've shown people houses, and the first house, they want it, but at the end of the day, we get used to that look that they do when they know that they want the house. And then that's when I know I need to get them in this house because this is the one that they want. So I don't usually try to rush them into it unless I know that they want it. They just kind of try to psych themselves out of pulling the trigger. And so that's where we're there for. We say, look, this is everything that you wanted. Why are you holding back? So if it's 50 houses or five, that's just all on fate.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and I'm sure you've got plenty of people out there, especially if they're first time home buyers, where they don't know what they want until they see it. So it might take that 20 to 50 houses to really get a good sense of what's for them, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I tell them, I say, listen, you're not wasting my time. If it's a house that you kind of like, eh, we need to go see it. Don't wait until the pictures make your socks roll up and down, and then that's the one you want to go see. A lot of times when that happens, 15 other people want to go see it. And now we're in multiple offers, and now we got to move on to the next one. So it's the one that you don't think you'll like. But just like you said, when you pull up to that house and you go in and you kind of get that feeling when you walk in, then it's way different than trying to judge it just by the pictures. A lot of times pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, absolutely. And so if I'm a first time home buyer or just somebody in your area. Um, why should I be looking to work with you as opposed to, 100 other realtors that could be in your area?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Well, I do get those complaints in from clients about other realtors that they have worked with. And, I'm not bashing or mean to talk down on anybody else, but the complaints I get from clients about other agents is they don't answer the phone.
Mhm.
And if they do, and they call right back and they have another question, they can't get them on the phone. They don't like to text back when they really need to. Some clients, they want to email, and some people don't read their emails until they get to work the next day.
Mhm.
And that just doesn't work in real estate. When that new house pops up, they need correspondence, quick. So that's number one. Number two is uh, they want to make sure that you know what you're doing. For instance, I was showing a client, and her dad came along, and he was asking me about a water heater, and did it look right? And I kind of looked at the water heater, and I said, well, new code is it's got to be at least 18 inches off the ground. So this looks like about 20 inches, and it's got the pan around it. So we could be good to go. So, it kind of reminded, I didn't know if he was testing me or what, but I just realized at that moment that, you got to know a little bit about something. So a, um, they want a tour guide of sorts, they want to be told what is customary and what they should be looking out for. They want to know where the mines are, right? And so that's really the second thing. The third thing is, which should really be the first thing, is just somebody that they can trust, somebody they can confide to and say, hey, listen, um, I hate this house, or I don't want to be in this school district, or I know it's, frivolous, but I had a dream about houses with red bricks. I don't want to do that, so they need somebody that won't judge them and that will guide them in the way that they want to be guided. So I think just listening to their needs and letting them know that you can be trusted is really key.
Yeah, excellent. No, I love it. I mean, I think proper communication gets overlooked quite a bit,
Absolutely.
um, on a professional side, on a personal side, but it, that the fact that that's the first thing that you said told me a lot, and I love it. I think it's I think it's vastly overlooked.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. And I'm not perfect by any means. When you've been in a business, even after a few years, you've been on both sides of it. You've been the one that the clients have basically relieved of your duties, and I had to learn from those lessons and things that I did and said, and also I've been the client. I mean, I've been the realtor that they come to when they do get rid of their agent, and I have to make sure I don't do the same things that the old agent did, and so, for instance, and this is what a lot of people don't think about. If I've got let's say I got a couple, husband and wife, and they're looking for houses. I don't want to only be communicating with the husband, right? That way the wife gets left out of some pertinent conversations, and what people don't think about is maybe in their dynamics, the wife is the one that's making all the decisions. So now when they're looking for a house, which is their most valuable investment, now the one that's usually the decision maker is the one that's getting the information last. So guess what's going to happen to that agent? The agent's going to get, you know, shown the door because now the other spouse wants to be the one that's getting the information first. So now I make sure that I put everybody in a group text message, make sure everybody's on the same page. And when I call, I'm letting them know, hey, I'm about to call so and so, and that way they don't think that there's some conversations going on without them and, decisions being made that they are not aware of. So that was one of my pitfalls, and I learned from it. and I'll never do it again.
There you go. Well, that's where experience comes in, right? And it's
Yes,
part of
sir.
being a professional. You learn from your
Absolutely.
mistakes, and I like it. Putting everybody in a group text, make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
That absolutely, that can never hurt.
No, not at
That's
all.
awesome. That's excellent. All right, and Eric, we're kind of coming up on time here, but before we go, can you tell people, if they're looking for real estate in the Mobile area, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, I bit the TikTok bullet and I'm on there too.
That boy.
Facebook. If you just go to Google and you type in Eric Coleman, Realtor, I should be one of the first people to pop up. I know my name is not super unique. It's common, but I am in the Mobile area. And so Google searches will should produce the right phone number and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram as well. So feel free to reach out and I know how important it is for me to respond back in a timely manner. So that I promise you.
There you go. Absolutely. All right. Well, Eric, hey, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. And everybody out there listening, if you've got something of value from this podcast, I mean, please hit that subscribe button. We've got more interviews coming down the way every day here. So we will see you on the next one. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.